We've got the sanding off here to do, what I tried up the other day. Use either sandpaper. There's also mesh we can use. We'll start off with the mesh just while we go along the edges. Put a little bit more pressure on the edge. We go down the other edge. We get a feathered edge. And we go down the centre. The door. Just got to be careful you don't miss anything. Sand it back hard enough. This had about 3 or 4 coats, so it's got plenty on there. Okay, run the back of your hand along to check it. Any bumps there. And just give that section a little bit of a sand. Now hold, make sure the edges are feathered. The angle. Always wear a good mask. Good idea to use a pencil for any little bits you miss or need touching up. Yeah, just so you can easily find them later on. that big section behind there. Top water surface here. Yeah, so that's how we sand off. How I do. There's still got a lot more to do up there, but it won't take too long. What's the awkward bits? You can either use a loose bit of sandpaper, or it's just a little sponge sandpaper you can get from Bunnings in a hardware shop. You can get into the hard to get places. With the angles you can also just go down the middle. It brings the sponge sander to do a very good job in the middle of the angles. It doesn't scratch too much. if you're coming up against any plastic either. You just check up with a sponge sander if you like. Okay. Not a bad idea to wear a peaked cap when you're sanding the ceilings to stop the dust coming in your eyes. I get glasses so it's not too bad, but still a peaked cap will help also. Good idea to swap hands using your left and right hand to sand. Give each one a bit of a rest. And also when you finish it, keep your mask on, because maybe for 2 hours or so at least, around about that dust hangs in the air, so you can be still breathing in it even though you think there's none in the room. Quite intricate, lots of little detail bits of sanding here, which is slowly. Using sandpaper now, about 120 grade, so 140 is about ideal for sanding plaster. Probably lasts about 20 minutes a sheet with the mesh or the plaster, but Just works similarly. I probably prefer the sandpaper a little bit more than the mesh, but if you've got easy sanding, the mesh is pretty good too, but maybe doesn't last quite as long as the sandpaper, or it's not quite as abrasive. Okay, a bit more gentle the mesh is. I'll just put a good light on, and just good to check things in a good light. That's how they should look. It's pretty smooth and reasonably flat too. Good idea. It's not a bad way to check how flat the joins are. Have a little bit of build up, but not. Basically, they've got to be reasonably flat. Some of the walls are going to be a bit bowed too, but you don't want big humps in the middle of the joins. There we go. If you use curved trowels, you've got to be pretty careful, but I usually use a flat trowel. Keeps the joins reasonably flat. Good idea to check with a spotlight when you're coming to a final finish off, as there's going to be things you're going to miss under a normal light that you'll pick up with the spotlight. It's about a 500 watt maybe. You know, you can do the job as good as you can see it, really. If you want, you can just go over it just with a damp brush and just check it up, dust it off. Not too much water though, because otherwise you'll take the top coat off. Got to clean these little bits up here that I couldn't get to as well. It's just a final check up. Put it cleaned out, and not too much water though. Quite often you might see something you've missed as well when you're doing that. Just the checking up part of it's very important to get all the final touches right. So hard, you can use your finger for hard to get bits. And just get a light brush off with a bit of water. Careful of the electricity though. Not a good idea working around electricity with water. Okay, that section in here. Very awkward spot to get to there. Can even put a little bit just on the brush as well to get the very difficult places. I'll finish it off a bit. It's almost there. Got to go around and check everything up. Yeah, just give me a sweep out now. A dusty old job. This. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's there's the dust in there just blowing away. Caught in the light. Quite interesting. Okay, so that's pretty well about it. Got a little touch there to do, but it's basically how to sand off by hand. On a fiddly job it's best to sand off by hand. On a bigger job you can use an electric sander or a giraffe one if you're experienced with it. But the old hand sanding is pretty good. It's still a way to do it really. All the best, take care, hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye bye.